So somebody earlier posted, asked me a question, and it kind of got a little bit heated on Pisces video about Hemalite. It's part of the moon or something like that. Okay. And he said that this mineral is part of astrology because it's part of the moon. Okay. Now, not to get, not to offend, but it's kind of like saying, basically, because I looked it up, okay? It's a rock that you could purchase at a New Age store, a Hemalite, and also you could purchase this at the New Age store. So I get where you're coming from about his healing properties and stuff, but that's crystal work. So, and I don't do crystal work or crystal magic. And Hemalite has nothing to do with astrology, just like amethyst here has nothing to do with astrology. Astrology deals with the stars in the sky. The stars in the sky and the pull of the gravity between the water in our bodies and the pull of our solar system is what I work with. I work with the stars in the sky, the constellations. I know a lot of you see like people like pulling up their astrology and being like, oh, you know, and you see like 12 signs on it and stuff like that, and it's like, that's not what astrology looks like. Okay. And, if I were to pull up astrology for real, I deal with like the constellations in the sky, like Taurus is a constellation in the sky. And then it has other little asteroids that are attached to it that affect it. So that's why in my natal chart, I pull out all the little asteroids in it because all those little asteroids, and especially right now, we're all being affected by Hades in retrograde in the sign of Cancer and Coronas in retrograde that are going to be there for the next 20 years and Volcanus in retrograde, except Volcanus has nobody in there right now, so we're kind of safe from that. I deal with the pulls of these energies, and we're really feeling the effects of Hades and Coronis because right now it's kind of like impossible for anybody to get laid until Hades and Coronis goes direct. Okay, so that is what's going on in the stars. So when it comes to minerals that come from the sky, like comets, right? And like Moldavites was part of a comet. I have some of it, and it blew up, right? So when it was in the sky as a rock and it was floating in the atmosphere, that's the time that you could do the astrology. So let's say the Hemalite, which is a stone. Let's say, okay, so people must have picked this off or whatever, and it's like supposed to be with this. And I say supposed to be because some people just, there's a lot of crystals that are like really, really fake. Okay, so let's just say if it was a comet and it was coming across, like some of the famous comets were the time of, let me see, Nostradamus, and he predicted some wars and the rise and fall of a king and Queen Elizabeth, because of a comet. Okay. And they would do astrology because of the comet crossing the sky, and they could see it with their eyes. We hear about it on the news every once in a blue moon, and then the astrologers start mapping out using logarithms, which is the same thing, not logarithms, use no logarithms, mapping, yeah, mapping the mapping system to map out the stars, okay, to map out the constellations, to map out the solar system. And then through that, they try to predict which side it's going to be on. And then they use that comet because guess what? That comet is now part of our solar system, which is a rock, and it's part of our solar system, and then it becomes part of the squaring, the whatever house it's going to be in, how is it going to affect it, and then it affects us. It causes problems. So yeah, so that's how a rock would affect us if it was a comet in the sky transiting our solar system. Then we would be affected about it. So it was a great question. It was, and I did look it up. So thank you for sharing your question. And this is my response to the answer. So thank you for sharing.